Hello, and welcome to Oh, That's a Podcast Primer, a quick introduction to OtaP. I'm your host, Thatcher the Human, and I'm here to walk you through Oh, That's a Podcast. OtaP is an audio variety show that my friends and I have been doing for around 3 years at this point. While anyone can jump into any episode, there are a few running jokes, characters, and specials that may benefit from a bit of context, which this video seeks to provide. Or of course, you can always skip this video and start listening from the beginning of the podcast. Before we get into breaking down what Oh That's a Podcast is, I just wanted to say that the podcast itself is always growing, meaning that this video may not be the most up-to-date. If there is an update to this or a part 2, check the card in the top right corner, but watch it, after this one, because this also has a lot of good information. Alright, so without further ado, let's begin. What is Oh That's a Podcast? Oh That's a Podcast, or OtaP, is an audio variety show. In a standard episode, each of the 3 hosts presents a different segment or bit, which take a few different forms, but all have some sort of a comedic improv flair. A segment could be a game, an article, a strange story, a quiz, an absurd hypothetical. The list goes on. And while this is the main structure, there have been a few different specials released throughout the run of the podcast that modify the formula a bit. OtaP's first episodes are known as OtaP Season 0, or Thinkin' 'Bout Stuff. These were recorded on the fly before the OtaP model was really fleshed out. They have some good stuff, but aren't as polished as the more recent episodes. OtaP also has a slew of seasonal specials, including the yearly Christmas episode where we feature Christmas-themed segments and determine the year's aspirational animal, our sort of mascot for the upcoming year. In addition to Christmas, OtaP also has OtaP, or That's a Podcast, a Halloween-themed block where the hosts watch and discuss Halloween specials and other funny, spooky things, like Goosebumps. OtaP also has the Big Funny Awards, another annual episode where we review and rank the best jokes from the past year, among other things. These episodes also feature listener participation, where people get to vote on their favorite jokes and bits, and this may even influence the direction the show takes in the future. We also have Pilot Light, a pilot program where we release episodes in between seasons to try out new podcast ideas. These episodes feature different hosts, themes, and structures, but they all still have that OtaP spice. Now, on the topic of seasons, OtaP's seasons. As of now, Oh That's a Podcast has 2 full seasons, with a 3rd one right around the corner. The structure of an OtaP episode itself doesn't really change much from season to season, but there are a couple elements that help each one stand on their own. Sometimes seasons have a minor theme or running joke, which is usually determined via listener vote in the Big Funny Awards. This theme may make minor appearances from episode to episode or have a much bigger presence in the season finale. For example, in the upcoming Season 3, listeners voted on aliens as being something they would want to see in this next season, so expect a lot of extraterrestrial references and alien-inspired bits. Another example is Season 2, where the fans voted that somebody dies this season. Something that we kind of teased up until the finale, when a character is killed and the hosts have to go on a murder mystery. Usually just minor influences like that. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait. A character gets killed off. There's characters? Characters and running jokes. Throughout the run of the show, the hosts, myself included, have created a couple of reoccurring characters and jokes that may warrant a bit of explanation for those jumping in. This being said, they all have origins within the show themselves, so if you listen through it beginning to end, they'll make sense in context. But if you're just getting started, this is a little helpful. Some of the most prevalent characters include John Taco Bell, the fictional owner of all Taco Bells and insane British businessman who lives inside of the host's closets. General Fishhauser, a one-off joke which eventually developed into a large fish-headed general who only speaks in burbles. Spookmaster General, an ancient scholar and keeper of the Cabinet of Curiosities segment. Bangers and Mash, a noise crunk band that sometimes makes music for the show, sometimes does in-character interviews, and all the times is beloved. Thatcher the Bear, a bear, whose name is Thatcher, and he's a bear, named Thatcher the Bear. And that's pretty much it. While there's much more to Oh That's a Podcast, these are the basics. You can now jump into most any episode you want to. Of course, if you're trying to figure out where to start, we can help with that. If you'd like, you can always start at the beginning and work your way through the backlog, or just look at the episode titles and highlights and see if there's one that catches your eye. Like episode 1.3, which is, as of now, our most listened to episode, for some reason. But the third, and maybe best, option is to check out the playlist in the description. There you'll find a slowly updating list of best bits, highlight videos, and season breakdowns. Think of it like a Reader's Digest, but for this specific podcast. So go out, listen, laugh, share, love, and maybe subscribe and comment and like to, I don't know, I'm not your dad, you don't have to do everything I say. Or, if you're already watching this video in the aforementioned playlist, just sit back and relax. This YouTube video is enhanced with OtaP's Fast Play. Your podcast and a selection of funny features will begin automatically. To bypass Fast Play, select the Close Video button at any time. Fast Play will begin in a moment.